Welcome to today's lesson, which is about problem solving with operations with rational numbers. The goals of today's lesson are that you can determine which operation to use to solve a problem involving rational numbers, and that you will learn to draw models and make plans for solving problems. So for each of these, you'll see I'm going to be thinking about what's my strategy for solving this and which operations will I use. So here we have a situation where Annie is baking cookies and she needs 1.5 cups of flour, and she has 1 3/8 cups of flour. Does she have enough flour? That's one of my questions. And if not, how much more flour does she need? So I'm going to model this problem by drawing a number line. And it's all positive, so I'm going to start here with 0, 1, 2. And she needs 1.5 cups, so that's about here. This is 1.5. I should label it, by the way, cups of flour. She has 1.5 cups, or she needs 1.5 cups. She has 1 3/8. So I need to mark 3/8. So 1 is to here, and then I need to mark this into 8ths. And 3/8 is here. So she has this much and she needs this much. So I've drawn a number line with the information on it. So now I can see that she does not have enough flour. So the answer there is no. And if not, how much flour does she need? And my strategy is that I am going to subtract what she has from what she needs. And she needs 1.5 cups. I'm going to subtract 1 3/8 cups. And to do that, I am going to convert these mixed numbers to improper fractions. 3/2 minus 11/8, and I need a common denominator. I'm going to use 8ths. So 4 3s, 12/8 minus 11/8 is 1/8. So she needs 1/8 more of a cup of flour. And you notice that I wrote the units. 1/8 of a cup of flour is what she needs. So you saw that part of my strategy was to model this with the number line, so I could see clearly that she does not have enough flour, and then that I need to subtract what she has from what she needs. Then I did the math and wrote my answer with the units. Okay, so here we have Joanna is mailing her niece a box with a book and a jigsaw puzzle. The book weighs 1 1/4 pounds. The jigsaw puzzle weighs 1/2 pound, and the box weighs 3/8 of a pound. What's the total weight of her box with the book and the puzzle inside? You'd need to know that to calculate how much mail stamps to buy. So I'm just going to draw a quick picture. I've got a box with a book and a jigsaw, and I'm going to say the book weighs 1 1/4 pound, the jigsaw weighs 1/2 pound, and the box weighs 3/8 of a pound. So I kind of have a visual of what I'm working with, and my strategy is that I'm going to add all 3 weights. So I'm going to add 1 1/4 plus 3/8 plus 1/2. And my 1 1/4 is a mixed number, so I'm going to make that an improper fraction. 5/4 and 3/8 and 1/2. And I need a common denominator, which will be eighths here. So 10/8 plus 3/8 plus 4/8, 10 and 3/13 and 4 17/8. And I can write that as a mixed number. 2 times 8 is 16, so 2 and 1/8 pounds. And you'll notice that I wrote my units here. 2 and 1/8 pounds is the total weight of the box. So part of my strategy was to draw a model so I could see the box with the 2 items and all the weights. And then I could say my plan was to add all of these 3 weights together. When I did the math, I made a mixed number or an improper fraction from a mixed number here. And I made common denominators here. And at the end, I got 2 and 1/8 pounds. And actually, I'd like to check, is this a reasonable answer? So I'm going to round the numbers here. So I've got 1 pound and a half a pound, and I'm going to round this to 1/2. So I've got 1 and 2/2, which is 2 pounds approximately. And I got 2 and 1/8 pounds. So that tells me that my answer is at least approximately correct. If I got 20 pounds for my answer, I'd know I was way off. So here's another question. Again, what's my strategy and which operations will I use? So in the problem we just saw, the book weighs 1 1/4 pounds and the jigsaw weighs 1/2 pound. What's the average weight of the 2 items, of the book and the jigsaw? So my strategy is going to be to use the calculations I would use for average. Average means add all of the, in this case, weights, and then divide that by the number of items. And so I have 1 1/4 plus 1/2, all divided by 2. And 1 1/4 is 5/4 plus 1/2, which is, I've got to make a common denominator, 5/4 plus 2/4, which is 7/4. And now I've got 7/4 divided by 2 because I have 2 items, which is, to multiply that, 7/4 by the reciprocal of 2, which is 1/2, which is 7/8. So the average weight of the book and the jigsaw puzzle is 7/8 of a pound. Remember your units. So here I, as a strategy, wrote out what is involved in calculating the average, and then I filled in the numbers and did the math, and at the end I wrote my units. So keywords and phrases and situations to look for and helping you to decide whether to add, subtract, multiply or divide. If you're sharing equally amongst a group of people or amongst a number of boxes or something, you would divide. If you're finding an average, you'll add all the items and then divide by the number of items. If you're finding the total of something, you add them all up. If you want to know how much more that you say you're saving for a bike, it costs $80. You have $60. How much more do you need to save? You would subtract what you have from what you need. A difference, when you see a question about calculate the difference, subtract. How much is left? You had 8 slices of pizza. You ate 5 slices of pizza. How much is left? You subtract. Given a total and one part, find the other part. So that could be either subtracting or dividing, depending on whether you have items added together or multiplied together. When you are removing something, you're taking it away, you subtract. When we're looking at altitude, going up, a plane going up or a bird going up into the sky, that's going up is positive, and descending, like the submarine problems we've seen where the submarine is going down, that's a subtraction problem. So when you're solving these problems, draw a model. It could be a number line, it could be a picture of the items in the box like we saw. Make a plan, like stop and think first about the different steps before you start doing them so you don't miss something. Look for keywords and phrases and situations to help you decide, are you adding, subtracting, multiplying or dividing, and look at your answer to see, does it seem reasonable? And today you saw how some ideas for determining which operation to use, and you saw that I drew models, I made plans for solving problems, I checked for the reasonableness, and I always wrote my units. And that's the end of today's lesson.